All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 56th edition of Thrive with Babs. This is the 56th edition, and I'm happy, as always, to welcome you all to this edition of Thrive. As some of you already know, it's a monthly sharing session where I get to share some of my meditation, my learning across the month or across over time with friends, with mentees, with colleagues, and family members as applicable. And just as I said, a sharing section, we just basically share experiences. I share mine and you share yours. I mean, you tell us your own insights about the topic that we're discussing so that we can all learn from one another and we can all become better individuals, more goal-oriented, more purposeful, more productive, and more impact-driven individuals who are going to attain sustainable success in life. So this is the 56th edition of Thrive, and our topic for today is titled The Universal Currency of Greatness. The Universal Currency of Greatness. Um, over the years, Thrive, I think, started in the year 2016, earlier thereabout. And we've covered several topics, and these are some of the topics that we've covered over the years since we started Thrive. We started with self-identity and definition, went to purpose, three step. And the last topic we treated was becoming the best version of yourself. How do you, how do I become the best version of myself? How do you become the best version of yourself in every area of life? And that is the last topic we treated on Thrive. And um, in I will still talk about maybe just a recap of that last topic. But for Thrive, we have certain reference guide that also inform or influence some of the teachings, some of the learning, some of the sharing, some of the things that we discussed on Thrive. And I usually because I study the Bible in and out. So I usually use it as a reference a lot. But it's not all the topics that I also even derive from the Bible. Some are derived from my personal observation of life, of people, struggles, success, victories, defeats, and various things that people are dealing with. And I study that, I observe, I meditate, and I draw my lessons from there. But where we have to use the Bible so that we can have, just like a reference guide, we use it because it is not as a religious book. I always say that because I have a background in literature, I'm able to analyze a work as a body of literature, not as a religious piece. I can analyze any work as as a literary person. So we don't treat Bible as something that we used to preach to ourselves at Thrive. Yes, they can use to preach in the church, but when we come to Thrive, we just draw lessons from there that we can all apply to our daily lives, our individual pursuits. And why we do that is because it's universal, is enduring. Lessons that are enduring is one of the oldest books around. I know some of the scenarios we can all relate to them. Some of the lessons we can apply to our own lives as individuals, as a corporate entity, as a partnership, whatever entity that we lay claim to. So that is one of the reasons where we use the Bible as our our main reference guide when we have to use a canon. Then, in terms of the last topic that we treated, we looked at um, I mean, how to become the best version of yourself. And these are just some of the highlights of that last session. We started by exploring the keywords. What are the keywords? I mean, we're talking about becoming the best version of yourself. Best version. What is even becoming? What is best version? And what is yourself? We look at those three words, three keywords in that topic so that we can be able to domesticate whatever we are discussing, whatever we are learning in terms of our own lives. Because many people they read other people's books. They don't read their own books. They read, wait, this one should be doing this, it should be doing that. But we are looking at myself, yourself, becoming the best version of myself, not looking at what my friend, what my parent, what my brother, my sister, my partner, my husband, my wife, whatever is not doing. We're looking at our own self now. So we looked at see these factors, starting with the keywords, and then the cautionary note, and that is where the caution was actually just, read to us that, see, we are talking about yourself, not somebody else's self, not somebody else. We are looking at improving, upping your game, becoming better, becoming optimal in whatever you do. So when you start with yourself, then you're able to talk of influencing others. But if we ourselves still have a lot of work to do, it is very, very impossible for us to be able to reach to others or influence others into becoming better. Then we also looked at how do you start the journey towards becoming a better version, a best version of yourself, and then what do you do when you started the journey? How do you attain mastery? And after attaining mastery, how do you determine what is your gold standard? Gold standard for the best version of yourself. And then how do you also now become a standard? It's one thing to have a gold standard that you are looking at for this. This is the gold standard in terms of, and we looked at some examples, real life examples in sports, in some areas of life. And now, how did those even become standards that others are looking up to? So that is, they have become standard, but we that we are trying to become like them, we initially have to use them as our gold standard before we now also become a standard. That is when we now beat the record. When we have done more than they've done, when we have attained more than they have attained, when we have accomplished more than they have accomplished. That recording is online on YouTube. If any of you is interested, you can always go to check it there. This session as well is being recorded. After we are done, it's going to be uploaded on YouTube so that everybody can be able to also watch it. And then we also have a recap of the session published on my website so that all of us can also read that. So it's better to always combine learn. Even me, I listen to some of these things myself. I also read some of those articles because learning is something that is continuum. Nobody knows everything. And as I'm talking, there are certain things I'm even saying that I might not have even thought about because there's also a level of inspiration to some of these things. So I also have to go to come and learn what have I said, what have I, and how do this even measure with my own life? Because I mean, I always say, there's no expert. I'm not an expert. We are sharing about life. There's nobody that is an expert in life. All of us, we are students in the Institute of Life. We are all learning on a single day. But the thing is that we learn in different ways and we learn in different measures. Because when you are even in school, in a classroom, students are not always on the same performance level. And that is to the extent that they apply themselves to their studies. The same thing with life. How do you apply yourself to life? That is the extent to which you can learn from the state of life. So some of us are more attentive, some of us are not so attentive. So to the extent of our attentiveness, that is how we're able to draw lessons from life, draw lessons from existence. So that is the recap of the session we had last week. Because the And no, we shall like that to keep under 1 hour. At times, 30 minutes, 45 minutes, we are done. But we have quite a lot of slides today, and I will just rush through. Normally, at this time, I would like to take audiences insights on what you understand by the topic that we are taking today, the universal currencies of greatness. But because we have so many slides, I will just skip that. Then once I'm done, then we can now take responses, take your own insights, take everybody's contribution as they are willing to share. And I will really, really, really appreciate it if all of you can share what you have learned over time about the same topic or a similar topic, and let all learn from you. I'm a student of learning. I love learning. I love learning new things because I've discovered that that's the best way to remain young. That's the best way to remain young. Once you are devoted to learn, you always look fresh. People that don't learn, they age quickly because if you don't exercise the brain, it affects every other part of the life. So, and you've got to just continue to devote yourself to learning. So, I would like to also learn from you guys, get to know what are your own takes about this topic that we are discussing today or what we've said so far. So, to our pause and ponder session, and I think that will already give us an inkling to what we are going to be discussing today. Uh, most people know they should manage time. However, far fewer people understand the economic nature of time. We hear this saying, time is money, time is money. But what does that even say to you when you say time is money? Time has economic value. We exchange money for goods, but we can only exchange time for outcomes. Whatever outcome we want in life, it is time we're going to use to exchange for it. And I will talk about this in greater details later. And life is nothing more than the accumulated record of what we exchange our time for. Your life, my life, is actually the accumulation of what I have exchanged my time for. My life now, in terms of what can be said about me, what can be said about you, totality of you, is a function of the accumulation of what you have exchanged time for over the years. And I always say that there's nothing like there's no young, I'm too old with time. Anybody can make a difference, no matter the age, no matter the race, no matter the background, no matter the advantages or disadvantages. So there's no excuse when it comes to time. So that is our pause and ponder for today. Now to the topic, the universal currency of greatness. And my first point is that every worthwhile achievement demands an exchange. You will hear sacrifice. I need to sacrifice. You need to make sacrifice to do this. I need to make sacrifice to do this. Every worthwhile achievement in life demands an exchange. Success is never free. Greatness always costs you something. Greatness always costs you something. Is that it costs you friends, associations, costs you. There must be something that that you have to lose, you have to sacrifice in order to become great in life. People can misunderstand you, misinterpret you, judge you wrongly if you are committed to a cause that you are very convinced that this is what you are meant to be doing. Greatness always costs something. Now, the question is not whether greatness has a price, but what currencies must be exchanged to attain greatness. Just like there's always a price you have to pay. But what is that price? What is that currency? And then I listed some Some of the currencies one must exchange for greatness here, as you can see them, discipline. With all of us, I'm sure we've heard about this: discipline, focus, goal setting, knowledge, skills, talent, relationships, capital, experience, perseverance, and on and on. The list is endless. However, I adopted George Orwell's book. I mean, a saying. No, it's not a book. The book is Animal Farm, but it's saying that all men are equal, but some are more equal than others. And I said, in terms of exchanging currency for greatness, all currencies are equal, but some are more equal than the others. So all those currencies that we've listed before, they matter, of course. Yet one of them, some of them are influenced by circumstances. Somebody can be born with greater natural talent, and there are people that are born with more talent. And you won't just be wondering, how did they know this? Somebody can be born with greater natural talent than the others. So that person starts life with unfair advantage over others. Some have access to better education because their parents are well off. They can send them to the best of schools, give them the best of tutelage. And some begin life with financial advantages. Maybe they were born into rich homes. And some enjoying stronger networks or more favorable environments in terms of where they grew up, the exposures they have, and all that. But there is one currency that every human being receives in exactly the same measure, no matter where you are born, no matter the date you were born, no matter the day, no matter the time, the hour, no matter the race you belong to. Everybody has this currency in equal measure, and that is time. The currency of time. And that is what we are, and that's why I call it universal currency, because it is universal. Everybody has equal access to the same time. So, the thing about time, unlike every other currency of greatness, nobody is born richer or poorer in time. You don't say, this one was born poor in time, was born rich in time. No, everybody was born in the same way. So there's no, this one was was born into richer time or poorer time. And then every day, every person receives exactly the same quantity, the same unit of time, 24 hours. Whether they are king or they are the laborer, they are billionaire or they are student, Nobel laureate with different global recognition or apprentice, every one of us begins each new day with precisely the same daily allocation of time. So that is why time is the one truly universal currency of greatness. Every other thing can be variable, but time is universal. It is fixed. It is not even proportional. It is democratic. It is fair in distribution. So the difference lies not in how much we receive, but in how wisely, mark the word wisely, we exchange our time. It is not how much we receive. Nobody gets more than the other. It is how wisely we exchange our time. That is what determines if we are going to live a life of greatness or a life on an average life, a life of success or a mediocre life. It's time. Time, guys, nothing else. Time, how you use your time, how you exchange time, how you work with time. That is what determines who you turn out to be. Then let's look at some of the nature of time. It is fixed. I've said that before, and it's still being repeated. No one can manufacture more of it, no matter how money you have, no matter how rich you may be. You cannot manufacture more time for yourself than others. You cannot manufacture, make your 24 hours 48. To tell you how democratic and fair this time factor is. It is impartial. It does not favor race, nationality, not because I'm an American, then I have better time. No, it doesn't favor race. It doesn't favor. If you are in Congo and you are in the US, all of you have the same 24 hours. Time does not respect your race, your nationality, your profession, your gender, or your social class. Now, very, very important, time is transient. It is transient. Every second that you lose passes once, it doesn't repeat itself. There is no time that has ever been repeated. It is gone, it is gone. Now, another very delicate thing about time, it is intangible. You cannot touch it, you cannot hold it, you cannot even see it. You're only seeing like a symbol of it, which is our wristwatches, our devices, and the wall clock. That is not time. That is just a symbol to represent time. So you experience the effect of time because you know that yes, time is passing. Because when you wake up, you see that the day is dawning, is getting brighter and brighter, and then at a point it starts to get darker, darker, darker. You can only see the effects, but you can't hold it, you can't touch it, and then it is measurable. Time is measurable. There are 24 hours a day, 168 hours in a week, approximately 730 hours in a month, approximately 2,119 hours in a quarter. There are 8,760 hours in a year. And in a decade, there are 87,600 hours in a decade, 10 years. It is measurable. You can measure it. So what do you do with this measure? Now, to more characteristic of time, it is manageable. And that's why I listed measurable first, because there's a management saying that whatever you cannot measure, you cannot manage. And that's why when I'm listing my own characteristics, I have to mention the fact that it is measurable. It's because it's measurable, then you can manage it. It is manageable, although you cannot control its passage, but you can manage it. You can determine how you use it. That's why you can manage it. You can't control the passage of time because time is always moving, but you can control its passage. Some of us, this session that we are in now, may be a very, very valuable investment of your time that somebody else who is doing other things. I mean, as we're talking now, billions of people are doing different things all over the world. The point is, what are they doing? And what is the value of that thing they are doing to their life, to their outcome, to their goals, to their purpose, to their mission in life? Many people waste time doing things that are not necessary. Not unnecessary times on the phone, chatting, playing games, doing all manner of things. But the point is, what are you doing in time? Time is also revealing. Giving enough time, it exposes our priorities, our habits, our values, and our character. What you spend most time on actually says who you are. That's the truth. It's revealing. It reveals our nature. It reveals our character. It reveals the child from the man. It reveals the child from the man. I think I was having a conversation with my children some days ago. No, I was just watching. I was just curious what they were watching. There was a guy that was playing game on Tubu, so they were watching it, and I was like, guys, what are you guys watching? The guy is playing games. Why are you watching the person that is playing game? Because I find it very funny. And I say, okay, imagine me sitting down and watching this. How will you even say this, Daddy? What will you think? Because now I'm more mature. I'm a better manager of time. There are certain things I won't do with my time. But some of these are children. They don't even know the left from the right. Even though that's not an excuse, really. So time reveals your maturity level. It reveals your purpose, your character. The Yoruba says that the person that we watch does not become a spectator. If people are watching you, then you don't start to watch other things. You have to behave, you have to perform, you have to do what you are required to do. Then time is compounding. Small daily investments eventually produce extraordinary outcomes. Now, I would like to talk about that. Some of us, because we easily get discouraged when we are doing something worthwhile. Something worthwhile always takes time. Always takes time. Anything worthwhile, we take more time than something that is not worthwhile. But in this age age of viraling, social media trend, we always want instant result. When you are doing something worthwhile, you often have to build in darkness. You often have to invest hours upon hours upon hours doing it. Nobody claps for you. Because of that, I said, because of this age, because we are now in a very trends, viral, all those things are what matter now. But all of us, we are looking for immediate clap, immediate applause, immediate gratification. It doesn't work if you are doing something worthwhile. So when we say it's compounding, small daily investment, you are doing this thing, nobody is seeing you, nobody is clapping for you, nobody is commending you, but keep doing it because why? Over time, the result will come out. Imagine the fable or the story about Thomas Edison in terms of making the electricity bulb, doing thousands of experiments. Nobody saw him when he was doing those experiments. Nobody was looking at him when he was working and all that day and night just to get this thing that we all take for granted. Incandescent light. But once he was able to get it, he got it right. He got the patent. We can all benefit from this. Everybody's clapping him till today. How many years we are still giving him credit? But what if he was waiting for somebody to clap for him when he did the 10th experiment? Guys, I'm just doing an experiment. Come on, in these days now, he will have been on YouTube so that people can be watching his workshop. And maybe after 20 experiments, they'll start booing him and then it will crash. So when you are doing something worthwhile, it's not the time for YouTube, it's not the time for viral. Your head has to be buried deep in what you are doing. But those disciplines, they compound. You are writing a book, you are building an institution, you are developing a website, you are undertaking a project. Most of the work are done underneath, invisibly, when nobody is seeing you. But because we have been so tricked to think that people must even start to praise our efforts, we get lost and we get discouraged when those don't come. So that's why I'm taking time to talk about this particular point. Time is compounding. It builds, it accumulates over time. But don't get discouraged when you are not seeing the result immediately. It will come. The extraordinary outcome will come if you stay disciplined to doing what you are doing, what you should be doing. Now, another thing about time is this: irreversible. Yesterday can never be revisited. And now, perhaps the greatest truth about time is this: time eventually becomes our life. Most of us don't see it that way. We just think our life is different, our time is different. Time is what becomes our life. How we spend our hours ultimately becomes how we spend our years. And how we spend our years eventually becomes our lifetime. I think we should let that sink very well. time, the end result of time is our life. Because how we spend our hours ultimately becomes how we spend our years. And how we spend our years eventually becomes our lifetime, our legacy. So, what are you spending in time? How are you spending your time? That should tell you equals to your life or your lifetime, your legacy. And it's not a curse, it's not a blessing, it's the truth. What do I spend time on? Now, this is not saying that you can't have time to relax or to do things that just to refresh and unwind. And no, but those must be measured. You know, we are unwinding because you know you have done something worthwhile. You have invested. You have done great things, things of exploit that will give you measurable outcomes. Not just you are chilling or you are relaxing for relaxing sake. Because it's easier to waste time than to actually spend to use it effectively. It's easier to waste time. And it's the currency of greatness that is universal to all. Now, how do you convert time into greatness? This is the second to the last slide. I said usually very short session. Then we have time to talk. How do you convert time into a life of greatness, into a life of impact, into legacy? Now, the fact that all of us receive the same measure of time does not mean that all of us are going to produce the same outcome. Just like it doesn't. You can all have the same 24 hours, the same 36,000 hours, and not produce the same outcome. It's not possible. So, what matters is how effectively we convert our time into value. The currency may be universal to everybody, but the value, the outcome is different across people. You don't usually see two people, achieving the same result. Why? It's time. One person pays more attention. How do you pay attention? You pay attention in time. That means if you are paying, you are doing more than the person who just takes and they start to deliver or start to do things. So that time is what is the decider, is the leveler. So if we are talking of converting our life, our time into greatness, into impact, into legacy, then you must be able to be intentional in the way you spend time. See time as see yourself as a steward of your time. A steward of time means that the time is not your own. You are only managing the time for somebody, and you have to give a report to the owner of the time. So if you have that steward mentality, it will help you to convert your time into greatness. Now, how do we do that? Decide the highest and best use of your time. The highest, the optimal use of your time in light of your own purpose and long-term goals. Now, that's another thing. All of us don't have the same purpose in life. All of us don't have the same mission in life. All of us don't have the same long-term goals. So you have to determine what are your long-term goals. What are your mission in life? What are your purpose in life? Then you decide, once you've known this, then that means you now devote more time to cultivating those things rather than the ones that are not important to your life. The thing is that most people spend time, they major on minor things. And if somebody majors on minor things, they will get minor results. I always say, forget about money. That's another thing that also deceives us. We think it's net worth that is that what you have, and most of what this money you're even talking about. If you still put that really, really, really value time, they are in the top tiers of billions. It's one thing to have money; it's another thing to be wealthy. So break your time into manageable units that help you stay focused on your most important goals. mission and purpose. We're not talking about converting time into legacy, into impact, into greatness. Now, please take note of it again. When you are doing this, nobody may be clapping for you. People may not even look at your side. There is no worthwhile thing in life that people were commending when the thing started. It's after the result is done that people now start to look at the person. Let me tell you, sorry, I mean, for those who are not Christians here, even Jesus, when he was on earth, he didn't have, do you know, there are not billions of people worshiping Jesus Christ. When he was on earth, he was not popular. Yet he stayed on his focus. For the 3 years that he did his ministry, he focused on what he was supposed to do. He told them, hey guys, I must do the work of him who sent me by the day because there's night coming that nobody can walk. He was focused on what he was supposed to do. He wasn't minding clapping and all. In fact, when they were being human, he will escape and leave them because they would distract him. He wasn't popular. Because it's easy for us to be thinking because we have billions of people who are calling Jesus today, holding hands, doing crusade delivery, that no, he wasn't a popular figure, but he was focused on his goal. And that's because he was focused, that's how he was able to live a life of impact. So don't think because people are not appreciating you now, they are not clapping for you, they don't appreciate what you are doing. No, please, please. That's why I spend time on talking about the compounding nature of time. It compounds. The silly thing is to stop and then give up because you are looking for claps. And please, this age and time is an age of trends, and don't let trends drag you away from your purpose. Don't look at to trend. You're not looking at trending. You're looking at making an impact, making your life a seed. Then plan your time rather than loaf. Most people loaf. Most people loaf. See, there's no how when you have 24 hours to spend, and that 24 hours is not even as if it's all the time that you're even going to use to work or to do things. There are, maybe you sleep for like 8 hours, 6 to 8 hours, and you also do other things. You eat, you have family that you stay with and do all those things. But if it's going to be 4 hours, 6 hours, 8 hours that you're going to devote to working, which is like the 1/3 of the unit of time, then you should be able to use it well. That 8 hours is not wasted. It's not used on low value activities. It's because most of us spend time on low value activities. That is why we have so many mediocrities flying all over the world. And it's not about speaking English. See, when you watch TV, you see when you watch social media, you just feel like you'll be pitying yourself. Don't People can see all manner of things on social media. Speak English with so much phonetics on. It's not those things. The point is that at the end of the day, what have you done? What are your impact? Oh, I did this, I have this house, I did this, I whatever. What are the impact? What is the value of that house in terms of generations to come? That is what matters. So plan your day rather than loaf. Plan your time. Invest your greatest attention and energy where they produce the highest return for you. That is after you have determined what is the best use of your time and your attention. So you should invest the greatest attention and energy and efforts where they produce the highest return. You have to know what is your goal in life. We don't all work with the same goals and purpose. Then another thing that I noted very importantly, audit your use of time regularly. Audit your use of time. In fact, there's a biblical whatever that backs this in Psalm 90. Say that teach us to number our days that we may apply our hearts to wisdom. Teach us to number our days. And now we've numbered our days. We've already said how many times, how many hours in a day, how many hours in a week, in a quarter, in a year, in 10 years. Because see, that we may apply our heart to wisdom. In fact, if you don't measure it, if you don't measure your days, your time, that means you will use it foolishly. You won't be able to apply your heart to wisdom. So you must be able to audit your use of time. How did I spend my time today? Is it what I should have done that I've done? Is it what I should be doing that I'm doing? You have to regularly audit your time. And when you see that, okay, you spend it well, celebrate the discipline habits that move you forward. But if you see that you've not used it well, then eliminate those patterns that are wasting your time and penalize yourself. You have to be harder on yourself than waiting for somebody to come and correct you. Some of us, we are past the age of parents flogging us or teachers flogging us. We are our own person. So you won't expect somebody will now be giving you a knock on the head because they spend your time. You have to give yourself that knock. Me, as I give myself knocks on the head, honestly speaking, when I will just give myself, what have you done? So you have to be able to penalize yourself when you have not measured up in terms of how you spend time. But if you know that you do it, quiz yourself. Take some sweet. Make yourself happy because you've done something, and you will know because there will be this fulfillment in your heart. It's a heart thing. Every hour is an investment. The only question is, what return is it producing for you? Is it producing for me? Every hour of the day is an investment. This hour that you guys have spent here is an investment that I'm hoping and I'm praying will actually yield good investments in your individual lives. Now, final thoughts as we round off the session for today. As I said, we usually make it pretty short and fast. Here are some quotes that I was able to curate for us. Somebody says that the bad news is that time flies, but the good news is that you are the pilot. That is Michael Altshuler. The bad news is that time flies, and we've said that it's transient. It's always going. It doesn't stay. But the good is that you are the pilot that is flying it. So where is your time flying to? Are you the one piloting, or is other things that are piloting you? Now, Benjamin Franklin says that lost time is never found again. Once it is gone, it is gone. That should scare us about life, really. That should scare us about life. Time is transient. Do you know that time that you spend sleeping may be worthwhile than time you spend on TV? Because sleep has a refreshing, a recreating, regenerating value. Even me that I'm talking to you, I don't get enough of it. And it is one of the healing elements in the world. Sleep. But don't oversleep. that's because some of now take it. Don't you will know now. Then Peter F. Drucker, for those of us who don't know, is called the father of modern management. Peter F. Drucker. Until we can manage time, we can manage nothing else. Peter F. Drucker, the father of modern management. Is this guy has given the word of management, so many theories, so many principles. So until we can manage time, we can manage nothing else. And when I saw this quote, I smiled. Why? Because I also have a quote that just gels with this: that time is money. If you can manage time, you can manage people. If you can manage money, if you can manage money, you can manage people. If you can manage people, you can manage. Because people want money, they will work for somebody who give them more money, help them to make money. So if you can manage time, you can be able to manage money and manage people. And Peter Tucker is telling us that if we can manage time, we can manage nothing else. If you cannot manage time, until we can manage time, we can't manage anything else. And then Arthur Schopenhauer, sorry, my pronunciation, says that ordinary people think merely of spending time. great people think of using it. They leverage it. They utilize it. They optimize it. They maximize it. And Stephen Covey, which is also very popular, said that the key is not spending time, but in investing it. The key is not spending time, it is investing it. That's Stephen R. Covey. Then Kiyosaki says that Robert Kiyosaki says your future is created by what you do today, not tomorrow. Not tomorrow is what you are creating today. What you have created. What are you creating? What are you making to happen? What are you building? What are you facilitating? And the last quote for today, as we round up the session, is by Carl Sandburg. He says that time is the coin of your life. It is the only coin you have, and only you can determine how it will be spent, which is actually talking about, gelling with our topic for today, that time is the coin of your life. Just look at your life as different units of time or coins. It is the only coin you have, and only you can determine how it should be spent. I want to say thank you guys for listening, and ask if anybody has questions, you have anything to add, you have disagreement, please, let's hear it. Our next topic is going to be why you get a no instead of a yes. Why you often get a no instead of a yes. For those of us who ask favors, who want people to give us, to favor us, to do things for us, do this, why do you get a no instead of a yes? Why do you usually get a no? Why do people say no to you instead of saying yes to you? So, do we have any questions, any
Yes.
comments? Yes, please.
Good evening.
Good evening. Please introduce yourself. I'm not seeing anybody, so you have to let us know your name and then ask your question or make a comment.
Okay, my name is Ifeyinwa Francis.
Okay, Ifeanyi, how are you doing?
Yeah, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So I have a question.
Please shoot.
Okay, Donald Trump became president at the age of 70, while Barack Obama became president at the age of 47. So that
Okay.
confirms what you said. What you said, that everyone's timing, like timeline, is different.
Yeah.
So how do I know if my time is passing me by? Because I often hear people say your time has passed you. So how can I tell if that's true? And what should I do to make sure I don't let my time opportunities pass me by?
Hmm. Wow, that's a very profound one. Yes, also that's another thing with time. And I think we are moving on to the realm of opportunity, because you also need time to be able to make use of opportunity. Now, there's a saying that each each day or each hour, opportunities either coming towards you or passing you by. It depends on what you do with it. Now, the height that see opportunity is called the height of preparation. There will be times you don't even know there's an opportunity if you're not prepared for it mentally, spiritually, emotionally, physically, materially, financially. There are certain opportunities that you won't be able to even do anything about. But talking about it, the time has passed me by. It has that can be answered in two ways. There are certain things that you can't undo. It is gone. It is gone. But there are certain things, because of the way nature is, the way God has structured life, that they always come in phases. If you miss that opportunity to do it at that time, it will come again, maybe some years later, some maybe some days later, maybe some weeks later, maybe 10 years later. So that is the way. There are some that they've gone and they have gone forever. But I'm not sure those opportunities, those time sensitive, there are many. Maybe some in your youth days, there because when you are young, you have energy. The older you get, the lesser your energy. So the way you will have done this task when you have your optimal energy will be different. You will maybe take longer time to achieve it. And I will use some contemporary and scriptural references. You know, if you book a flight, you are traveling abroad, each flight that you book has a time. You must get to the airport at any time. You must not miss. If you miss the flight, it's gone. But that doesn't mean that the fact that you miss the flight, it doesn't mean that you won't be able to fly again. Because the same place you are going, there's another plane that is also going there, powered by the same airline. But it won't be at that time. Maybe to be like 6 hours time, 2 hours time, 8 hours time, or the next day. That's to tell you the chances of it. I mean, it's also rotational. The same thing with train, the same thing with buses that have fixed time. Another will still come by. So those are I think that's just most of these things we see in life. They are more or less like a replication of the way things happen in the spirit. So they always pass, they always, once they pass by, they still come back in another time. The only thing is that there is delay, and delay, we know what delay means. It means that you are discouraged, you are confused, and all that. That period, I mean, we look as if I've failed, I've not met this when I should have done it. Doesn't mean total failure because another opportunity is still coming by. That's the way life operates generally. Now there are some that once they are gone, but there are not many. There are not many. The person that became president at age 80 something and the one that became president at age 30, it may be the level of preparation. I also said that preparation is the eyes that sees opportunity. What have they, and that is just agreeing with our topic, what have they spent their time doing? The person that became president at earlier stage might have spent more time preparing himself for leadership. So when the opportunity came, he used it. And the other one that became at 80 did not even see anything, wasn't even invested in that area, was busy doing other things. And Donald Trump was better known. He became a president. All of us, when I was growing up, Donald Trump I knew was a business mogul. So you see Obama, and if you look at the net worth, Obama probably doesn't have as much money as Donald Trump. Because Donald Trump already built a reputation for himself as a business person. That's why when he was contesting, many business people supported him because they knew that, okay, he was going to favor commerce and enterprise. So we can see one
Okay. Good evening, everyone. I don't know if you can hear me, but I think Mr. Babs just lost his connection right now. So I think we have to like wait for him till he comes back. Thank you very much.
Sorry, guys. I think I lost internet at some point. I have to change my network. I'm in the UK, and it happens. So all of us think it's Nigeria. It's not a Nigerian thing. It Yoruba says that if people go Latin adiale, everywhere that we gather chicken to enter the pen when it's night. It's not just one place or the other. So that's the beauty of life. Any other question, any other comment, any other anyone has something else to add to say? And then as we call it a day. Okay, I want to okay, sorry, I think I have to share my screen. Permit me to do that, please. Because okay, for those of us in the internship, I mentioned this was it yesterday? So the next topic is going to be why you get a no instead of a yes. Most of us we ask for favors, we want things to be done for us to us, and people that we ask they say no instead of and we think they are going to tell us yes and we get a no. Why? Why do we have a no instead of a yes? Yes, usually there are many reasons, but there's one that we are going to look at that we can control so that you can actually control the outcome before you ask for favors from people. And let's see what where that leads us. Then for this just like there's going to be office hours. I think I told those in the internship yesterday. I'll just be having like one hour a week is available to those in Thrive, I mean, Thrivers community, and then the TLW consult internship. It's only 30 minutes, please, per person. You have to book the calendar. The calendar link will be made available shortly, as I said, and to be dropped in the Thrivers Academy, Thrivers community, and then in the internship. So 30 minutes, please, per person. Where we just, if you have any questions about life, about this, one of the things I'm doing towards my 50th birthday, really. So I'm more or less making myself also available for maybe mentoring, just talking. You need a sounding board, you need somebody to run ideas by. You can always just book the time and let's talk. And it's going to be on Thursday, the time we will see once the calendar is live. The calendar is busy though, you can also use it for business. I also have other meetings in between the week. So the ones that is available for these office hours will be given to us. The ones that is for business will be for business and all that, so that we can, those of us who are able to make use of that can also make use of it. So that would be. Then, if you have any question, please just drop them in the WhatsApp group. If that's in the private WhatsApp group, or don't. If you send me messages personally, I don't usually reply. Once the number is not stored on my phone, please, I won't reply because there's God knows how many thousands of people that I want to. Some call. If I don't have the number, I won't pick it. So please let's try and make use of these office hours. Then we can get to talk and be able to rub minds there. I'm always willing to learn from people. I mean, I'm very, very passionate about knowledge. I want to know. I want to know. And I always challenge what I know so that I can know new things. I mean, I don't believe anybody is a repository of knowledge. We learn from people. My children every day they have to send daily reports of what they are learning. And from that, I've learned so many things. So many things. Because they have to tell me what have you learned today? And just on my children, when I was in Nigeria, my siblings were staying with me. Every day they have to do report. What have you done? And they think maybe just punish them. I'm going to learn from what you are learning from. Because me, I love knowledge. So why would you deprive me? And none of us will learn different things. So I always like to learn from people, learn from, and I'm a student of life. I observe a lot, I listen a lot, and through that I'm able to learn so many things. So we can all exchange minds, rub minds, and become better for it. The elder said that is what the birds eat that the bird flies with. And that eating is talking about knowledge, what you have internalized, is what you can fly with. You can't fly with what you have not internalized, what you cannot carry. So thanks to every one of you for attending today's session of Thrive. Looking forward to see you guys. Hopefully, maybe last last Sunday of this month or the first Sunday in September. It depends on my timetable. I will communicate that to us. So I will let us know. So the dates are a bit fluid now. Um, I don't force myself to do anything because I have to do to. No. If I don't have a topic, I won't call the. For some months we didn't even do it because I didn't have any leading to speak about anything. But once I had the leading to talk about this topic, immediately I sent it out. And today, as I was preparing for this topic, the next topic also dropped in my spirit. And I said, this is the next topic. So I just put it there. And that's the way. It's not something that I do because I'm not looking for publicity. And that's why you won't see it on my social media. I just share it on WhatsApp. So what you do, life compounds, time compounds. That's the most important thing. Is God that ultimately rewards everything and everybody. So let's not work for people to clap for us, to cheer us. Let's work because it satisfies our conscience. We do what is right by our conscience and let God ultimately reward us because He's the one that rewards. So thanks again for joining today. Have a fantastic month of August. Till we meet again next month. Bye to everybody.